Hello guys, welcome to our channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about Dart. Dart is a programming language and it is designed for client developments like web and mobile as well as desktop applications. And it is developed by Google and it is an object-oriented language as well as C styled syntax and it will be this language will be easy for beginners to learn. So now we'll see the basics of the Dot. Before seeing the basics of the Dot, first you have to install the Dot SDK in your machine. So to install the Dot SDK you have to visit the dot.dev, which is their official website. Once you open this website you can see the get dot here. Press the get dot and you will be redirecting to this page. And here installing the dot sdk, and you have to, if you are using a windows you can, if you have a Choco installed your windows you can directly use this command to install the dot sdk. If you are using Linux you have to use those commands. If you are using Mac OS you have to use these commands to install the dot sdk. And if you are using Windows you don't have a Choco, means you have to click here. It will download the dot sdk as a zip file. Once you download that zip file, just extract the zip file in your C folder and make sure that you have given the path to your environment variable in your setting. So after everything is done, we'll also attach the steps to install the dot sdk in description. You can also check it over there. And once you finish all those setups, and we'll dive into the dot basics now. So yeah, I'm gonna use a Visual Studio Code for editing my code, and you can also use whatever the code editor which you having. And if you want to download the Visual Studio Code, you can go to this code.visualstudio.com/download link, and it will be directing to this site. And you can choose your Windows OS or Mac OS or Linux. You can download it there. It will be downloading a zip. You can easily install from here Visual Studio Code, which is a lightweight, so that's why I'm using. So yeah, so after you downloaded your editor, you can create a file, and the dot programming language uh, will have the extension called dot dot. You have to save the file name as well as dot dot. This is an extension for dot language, so you have to store it as a dot dot format. And once you created your file, so now you have to put a main function here, which is a predefined function in dot, and it is the entry point for the dot tool. So inside the main function, so main is the predefined function in the dot, and this is the type of this return function. Basically this is a function, and the return type of the function is a void. Void means null. So this function will not return anything, so that's why we are putting a void here. So it will never return anything from this function, so that's why we are putting void here. So main is the predefined function, which is the entry point to the dot. We have to compulsory put it there. And inside this, if I try to print hello world, so print is also a predefined function. If you over on the print, it will say print a string representation of the object to the console. So it will, whatever the value we are giving here inside the print, it will just print it to the console. That's it. It will not do anything. It will just print the values, what are all the things we are giving inside the argument. It will just print it in the console. So if I run this, so if you see the console, it's showing hello world. And if I change this hello world into, I will change this breaking code. If I rerun this main function, see the value. So this is the functionality for print, like it will just print the statement to the console, and main is the entry point of the dot. If you want to declare a string here, you can use this keyword string, and you can name the variable called st or something like this. You have to use a semicolon at the each end of the statement. So we have declared a string here. Like other programming language, we also having certain type of data types here, one is an integer and another one is a int string. For example, I will call this as a number. It's the variable name, and it's showing the local variable number isn't used. Okay, so string integer, and we'll be having a boolean called bool is true. We'll name it as okay, and we'll be having a double for decimal values. Name it as a price, and we also having a list which is have a collections, like if you see the string integer boolean double, it's an like a singular one, so we'll be not having a group of same objects. So if you're using a list, you can having the list of objects, like if you want to have a list of integer means you have to declare it like this, name it as a numbers. So this is a list of numbers. Like this, you can also put it as a list of string, a list of double, and whatever you want. You can use the type here for group of objects here, and you will be also have a map. So map is nothing but like keys and values. So like you can will be calling it as a object. So if you see the if you want to we'll see one by one to store the values in those variables here. I will remove this print. So if you see the above this thing, we are only declared the type and the variable. We haven't assigned the any values to those variables. So now here we'll assign the variables uh, values to the variables. So if I want to store a hi in str string, you have to use that variable, and you will assign here as a string. So double quotes, you have to, since it's a string, you have to use a double string, and inside you can put whatever the characters you want. So other one is num. So I will assign 50. So since it is the integer, so you can't use the double quotes here. You have to use it as a integer, like numbers. So after this, we'll give the value to boolean is true. So boolean is nothing but like you have to give only two values. You can give either true or false. So is true. If I will give this value as a true, so it will accept. So if you want to give as a false, you can give false. So then we'll see price. So for price, you have to, since the price is a double, you can give the values in decimal point also. So if I want to give a 45.5, can give, so it will accept decimal points. So where integer won't accept. So if I put dot 6 to the integer variable, so it will say the value type of double can't be assigned to the variable type of, so you can't send here. And after the double, since this is a list of double numbers, we can give numbers equal to 45.5 comma 67.8. So like this you can give n number of values here as a double to this variable, since this is a list of double, so you can give the n number of values here. So that's why the list is very useful here for group of collection of objects. And this is a map. So since I already told map is having will be acting with the keys and values, so by using a map keyword we have to create a key called we'll say hello is the key, so left side is the key, right side is the value. So world. So now we have assigned all the values to the variables which we have created before. So for string we have set a high, and for integer we have given a 50 number, and for boolean is true we have given a false, and for price double we have given a 45.5. For the list of double numbers we have given the list of double digits, and for map we have given the key called hello and world. So we'll print all those variables now to the console. We'll see how it's assigning the values to each others. uh, so since print statement will accept only strings only, so we have to put a double quotes. And if you want to this integer, this double, this list is not string. So if you have a doubt how can we print those things in print, since this accepts only a string, so we can use a string concatenation here. So if you using the you can also use skin concatenation or skin interpolation, and whatever you can use this here. You can also like by using the dollar symbol, by using open and close curly braces, you can put a num here. So if you over on the num, it will show the return type of the data type. So you see it is a integer. So before it, if I number is, if I type this, so it will show number is, then the actual value variable of the value in this is 50, right? So it will show 50. So after this string is, so we have to use the dollar, and str is the variable, and comma, then double is, what's the name, price, I think, yes, price, comma, then boolean is true. Okay, and then numbers, yes, list is, and then finally map is, so yeah, we have entered all those variables here. And if we run this main function, you can see the console number is 50, string is high, double is 45.5, and then boolean is false, and the list is the thing we have assigned to the numbers here, and the map is hello world. So this is the map object. So left side is the key, right side is the value. So we have created a value called hello, and we have assigned the value as a world. So yeah, so this is how the assign variable creation of the data type and assigning those values to the variables and printing it to the console. So this is how it works. And yeah, so this is the basic data types which is having in Dart. You can create it as a string, integer, and whatever the thing which we having in Dart, you can create and you can assign it, and you can also use it at anywhere. Like you can perform some operation like arithmetic operation, or you can use it as a conditional statements, and you can use it in loop statements, and whatever the condition which you are using, you can use it there. So yeah, so this is the basic creation of the data types and implementing it in a main function. And yeah, that's it guys. That's all for the video. In next video we'll see more about how to use those data types in functions and do some operations and then looping concept and much more thing in further videos. And yeah, do subscribe to Breaking Code channel for more tutorials, programming challenges and coding tips, and a lot more cool stuff is coming guys. Yeah, bye.